Artificial intelligence has become a big problem in the crochet community, and today I'm going to attempt to crochet an AI-generated pattern. 2, I'm going to give you some helpful tips and tricks to be able to spot AI-generated crochet patterns on the internet. And 3, finally, we're going to do a little quiz to see if you can tell the difference between an AI-generated crochet image and a real one. Hi, I'm Elise from EliseRoseCrochet.com, and I want to make sure that you know about a free resource that I have for you, and that is my website. There you're going to find hundreds of blog posts, you'll find printables, you'll find free patterns, lots of tips and tricks and yarn reviews, and I will leave a link for it in the description box below. And the reason why I decided to talk about this topic today is that because I was scrolling on Facebook the other day and I came across a Facebook page, and they have these AI crochet generated images and they've got links to patterns that don't match up. It's really spammy, and in the comments I don't see very many "Hey, this is AI." Most of the comments are, "Oh, I love this. This is so beautiful. Would love the pattern." And some of these posts have thousands of likes and hundreds of comments. I do think that they're going through and they're deleting those comments, because I have seen a couple of them saying, "Hey, this is AI, like alert, alert," but then they're gone. So I do think that they're filtering those comments out so that most of us aren't seeing them. And here's why this is such a problem. Number one, people are getting scammed out of their money. They are purchasing patterns on Etsy. Yes, Etsy has some AI generated patterns that are floating around on there. I know that Etsy is trying to deal with this problem, but as fast as they can knock them down, another one is going to pop up. So we need to be careful so that we don't waste our hard-earned money on a scam. Number 2, people are wasting their time. There are free AI generated crochet patterns floating around on the internet, and people are wasting their time trying to make patterns that likely are never going to turn out correctly. And the reason why this is such a problem right now is that because currently AI cannot write a decent crochet pattern. And number 3, and one of the most harmful, is that beginners who stumble upon this AI generated crochet pattern may think that the problem is them, not the pattern, and they can become discouraged and give up completely because they think they're not a good crocheter, when in actuality it's an AI generated pattern and it was never going to turn out. So I'm going to go into ChatGPT right now and I'm going to put in the prompt, "Write a crochet pattern for an amigurumi whale," and let's just see what it gives me, and I'm going to attempt to crochet it. So I copy and pasted the exact crochet pattern that ChatGPT gave to me into the ChatGPT image generator, and I asked it to give me an image of the exact pattern, and this is what it gave to me. So I will be excited to see if this is what this crochet pattern is going to end up looking like. I have some doubts because just looking over the pattern, it says that we're going to choose a yarn in blue or gray. It doesn't say 2 different colors, and that image shows 2 different colors, but who am I? I'm just a simple amigurumi maker. That's a fancy schmancy artificial intelligence. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I'm just going to go ahead and make this little whale and see how it turns out. So far, my first impressions are that right now looks like a legitimate crochet pattern. It looks all really standard to amigurumi. I am only on round 2 right now, so this could definitely change as I keep going. But so far, it looks pretty legit. So I'm a little bit excited to see what happens if this is going to turn out to be a cute little whale. So I'm almost finished with the little body of the whale, but it doesn't say what size eyes to use. So I am going to be using a 6mm. I like that size, and I think that it will work well for the size of this little body. I just finished the little body and I'm going to keep it a secret. I don't want you to see until the final reveal, but I'm moving on to the tail and then to the fin. We got a problem. So I just finished round 4 and that leaves us with 6 stitches. Now for round 5, they have us increasing, and at the end of round 5, they want us to have 8 stitches. This is what the pattern says to do. Chain 1 and turn, we're good on that. Then it says single crochet increase twice, single crochet. The math doesn't add up. The easiest way for me to show you is to do a little sketch, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Here we have our 6 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They want us to do 1 single crochet, increase, and then they want us to do that again, 1 single crochet, increase. And then they want us to do 1 single crochet, and we're supposed to end up with 8 stitches. But we have this 6th stitch that they haven't told us to do anything with. Even if we followed it exactly, we would have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We haven't dealt with this stitch right here. The stitch count doesn't add up. The directions are wrong. If I was a beginner, I might think that the problem was me, but really it's with this pattern. It is not written correctly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to work it out so that I get the correct stitch count, which means they want us to have 8 stitches at the end of the round. So I'm going to do 2 single crochet increase, and I'm going to continue to go forward with the pattern. We have another problem. For round 7, they're wanting us to take those 8 stitches and reduce them down to 6, and they're doing the same thing. 1 single crochet, and instead of increasing, they're decreasing, and they have the 1 stitch left, but they're missing the last stitch in the row. So I'm going to do what I did before and adjust the pattern, and I'm going to do 2 single crochet decrease, and that way I'm going to end up with the correct number of stitches at the end of the row, which is 6. I'm on the last row of the tail, and we have 6 stitches right now, and these are the directions. It says chain 1, turn, we're good. Then it says decrease, single crochet, decrease. That's going to leave us with 1 extra stitch again. They want us to go down to 4 stitches. So I'm going to have to fix the pattern again, and I'm going to do decrease, 2 single crochet, decrease. Just that way we end up with 4 stitches at the end of this row. I finished the tail, and I'm going to go ahead and attach it to the body. The directions don't say where to attach it to the body, so I'm just going to use my best judgment. Okay, so I've made the body, I've made the tail, and now I am on to the fin. Now, I thought that the fin meant the 2 little thingies, the little flipper thingies on the side, but here's what the directions say. Using the same color yarn, attach yarn to the side of the body. I don't know what that means. Then it goes on to give me the directions, and then it says fasten off and leave a tail for sewing. Sew the fin onto the top of the body. And it doesn't say to make 2, so I'm assuming they only want you to make 1. So I finished the little fin here, and it says to sew it to the top of the body. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not exactly sure which direction, but I'm just going to do what makes the most sense. So yeah. I just finished the little whale, and I want to remind you of the image that ChatGPT created of the pattern. Remember, here's this cute little whale. I followed the directions exactly, except for when the pattern was wrong and I had to fix it. But otherwise, I followed it to the T. And here is my little amigurumi whale. Oh my goodness. Yeah, They really don't look alike, do they? He doesn't look like any whale that I've ever seen before, and he certainly doesn't look anything like the image that is supposed to represent the pattern. That was so much fun, but now that we're done with the little experiment, here are my 6 best tips for spotting fake AI crochet generated images that are floating around on social media and on the internet. Individually, these concepts may not be a red flag, but if you start seeing more than one of them, you should probably dig a little deeper. Number 1, if you see an image of a crocheted object and it is the most detailed crochet item that you have ever seen in your life, that might raise a red flag that it could be AI generated. Number 2, can you identify which stitch is in that crocheted item? Really look closely to see if it's a stitch that you recognize. A lot of these AI images use techniques that don't exist in crochet, so that's a really good hint as well. And I know that this can be a little bit difficult if you're a beginner and you haven't learned to recognize stitches by sight yet, but there will be something about it that just doesn't look quite real. Number 3 is the size of the object. Is it beyond the scope of human capability? There have been a lot of AI images floating around on the internet of people standing beside these massive crocheted animals, and they are all AI. Number 4, look at the image as a whole. Is there something off about any part of the crocheted image? For example, in this photo where the woman is standing beside the elephant has 5 legs. There's something off about it, and that is a very good indicator that it's AI. Another good thing to look at is if there's a human in the image anywhere, look at the hands. AI doesn't do a great job with human hands, and there's usually something that looks a little off, whether it has an extra finger or the fingers look a little extra long, or maybe the texture of the hand looks just off. It doesn't look quite human. Another red flag is the colors. If they are so fantastical that they take your breath away and they don't look like any yarn that you have ever used, or that the color changes are happening seamlessly, that's another red flag that you might want to take a closer look. And the last tip I have for you is if you find a crochet pattern and you're not sure if it's AI generated or not, look and see if the pattern has progress photos. If they show the project being made and you can see the progression of the project, then there's a good chance that this is a real crochet pattern. But if they're only showing this super adorable finished object and there's no progress photos, you might want to think twice before trying to make that pattern. Here are a couple of questions that I ask myself if I come across a pattern that I am starting to think might have been created by AI. Who designed this pattern? Every pattern designer that I know wants the credit for the projects that they have designed, and they have their name somewhere on the pattern, in the pattern, around the pattern, in the listing, somewhere. And every single designer that I know has some sort of social media, or they have a website, they might have a YouTube channel, they're posting an Instagram, Facebook, they have a Pinterest account. All of these things are good indicators that this is a real person who designed this project. The second question that I would ask myself is, are there any videos of the finished item? And this is especially true on Etsy. When looking at listings on Etsy, if there is a video of the finished object and they're moving it around and you can see the front and the back, that's not AI. That is a real project. So I would feel a lot more confident about buying that crochet pattern. But if it's only images and you only see the front of the image and you're not seeing the back or the sides, I might be a little suspicious, and I would take a deeper look into the designer, the shop ratings, all of those things before I clicked that buy button. Now that we've gone over all of that information, let's put this knowledge to the test with a quiz. Now, if you've ever been to my channel before, you might know that I love a little quiz. Now, some of these are going to be super easy, and you're going to be able to tell right away which one is real and which one is AI. The first 2 images are of an amigurumi pencil. You've got A on the left and you have B on the right. Which one do you think is AI? If you chose A as the AI image, you would be correct, because B is my very own pattern, Mr. Pencil. I'll leave a link for him in the description box below. These next images are of crocheted frogs. The one on the left is a little bit bigger frog, and then the one on the right is a smaller frog in a basket. I think this one is pretty obvious, but A is the AI generated frog. The frog pattern on the right is from Crochet Candyland Co., and I'll leave a link for that pattern in the description box below. The next two images are of crocheted birthday hats. The one on the left is pink and it has a big pom-pom on the top, and the one on the right has rainbow stripes. I think this one is a little bit harder to tell which one is real and which one is fake, but the AI image is B on the right. The thing that gives the AI image away is around the bottom of the hat. Those aren't stitches that I've ever seen in crochet. And the image on the right is my own birthday party hat, and I will leave a link for this free pattern in the description box as well. The next two images are of crochet granny square cardigans. You've got one on the left, it's on a person, and then the one on the right is hanging on a hanger. This one's a little bit harder to be able to tell, but the one on the left is the real image. The one on the right is AI. I'll leave a link for the real crochet cardigan pattern in the description box below. The next two images are of crocheted sunflower bookmarks. And I think this one is a little bit tougher to be able to tell which one the real one is. So the fake AI one is on the right, it's B. But if you want to make your own crochet sunflower bookmark, I have a free pattern and I'll link it in the description box below. The next two images are of crocheted shawls. This one's also a bit tough to be able to spot the real one, but the fake AI one is A, it's on the left. The real shawl pattern is from Katie and the Squid, and I'll leave a link for it in the description box. I've left the hardest one for last, and these are images of crocheted penguins. Honestly, I think this one is pretty tough to be able to tell which one is real and which one is fake. Before I tell you which one is real and which one is fake, put your guess down in the comment box. I would love to know what you guys think. I'll give you a second. The real one is on the left. This is the adorable Mumford the Penguin by Sarah D. Crochet. She's one of my favorite crochet designers, but the fake AI one is very realistic looking, and I'm not even sure if I was just going through and I saw this image that I would think it was AI. It is that realistic looking. The little AI whale, and I hope that you enjoyed today's video and that you're walking away with a few helpful tips for being able to spot these little stinky buggers out on the internet. But I hope you have a great rest of your week. Stay safe and happy stitching.